Hello students, welcome back to the channel. This is Rami sir and you're watching Rami sir's lecture series. In our previous lecture, we did discuss the poem Snowdrop by Ted Hughes. I hope you understood that poem and you liked that, and I really needed a thumbs up from your side. Thank you. In today's session, we are going to talk about Kamala Das and her poem My Mother at 66. Before going on to describe the meaning of the poem, let us briefly talk about Kamala Das. She was born in Malabar, Kerala, right? And she would write under the name of Madhavi Kutty. This Madhavi Kutty was her pen name. So, she wrote many poems. She wrote many novels also. One of the best novel of Kamala Das was Alphabet of Lust, which was written in 1977. And one most important point is that she was famously known as confessional poet. You may ask me what is confessionalism, or who is a confessional poet? Confessional poet is one who talks about the things very bravely and does not hesitate in revealing that event, the incident, or any type of story to the readers. Same was with Kamala Das. She was a confessional poet, and she would not hesitate in discussing any of the matter, maybe personal, maybe public. She also wrote the collection of short stories Padmavati the Harlot and other stories in 1992. She is a sensitive writer who captures the complex subtleties of human relationship. She was the master of human relationship. Okay, as she was very sensitive poet, she would understand all the angles of human relationship. Okay, she was very tender. Subtleties means tender. Okay, she was very sensitive about human relationship. That is why the poem we are having today for discussion is My Mother at 66. If we go and discuss the themes of the poem, one of the major theme of the poem is aging or human relationship and fear of loss and separation. My Mother at 66 is an example. So this poem, My Mother at 66, which we are going to discuss today, My Mother at 66 is an example of it shows us the human relationship. Okay, particularly with mother. So this poem is actually a sentimental account. I would write this here so that you guys remember. This is a sentimental. It is a sentimental account of a daughter. So, in this poem, you will learn about how it is hard to think about aging, think about how we are losing, how we are separating with each other, okay? How slowly death is approaching to all the human beings, and how it takes away the human beings from the beloved ones, from the nearers and dearers. Now, let us directly talk about My Mother at 66. As I said, the major theme of this poem is aging and the fear of losing anything and the separation. In this poem, you will see the relationship the nucleus of the poem. So nucleus means the major, okay, very essential theme of the poem. Okay, the poem revolves around this relationship. Okay, it is the nucleus of the poem. So let's discuss without much further delay. In order to describe the poem, let us read it out for first, so that maybe some words are familiar to our mind, and we listen to the word and we get the meaning out of that word. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open-mouthed, her face Asian like that of a corpus, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, worn, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood fair. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile, smile, and smile. So this poem begins with the first line, driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. So actually poet was going to Cochin, to the airport. She was leaving her home and she was living her life with her mother. Okay, now see, this poem also will talk about the two images. You will remember those two terms, two images. Okay, first is childhood, and the second is old age. This is an age and this is the second age. Childhood is contrary to old age, right? And old age is contrary to childhood. We are full of energy, we are energetic, we are having full power. Okay, we have fresh mind in childhood, but as far as the old age is concerned, we are almost dead in old age. Nothing remains with us. Okay, all sorts of things which we enjoyed in childhood is gone, right? Now see, these are the two images which we see discussed in the poem. So let's start. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. So the poet Kamala Das is saying that I was going to Cochin last Friday morning and I saw my mother beside me. You know, her mother was sitting beside her in the car. I saw my mother beside me, doze, open-mouthed. Doze means I saw at her face she was yawning. Okay, she was yawning, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that. So ashen is a colorless entity, right? No color at all, because she was old now. She has lost her energy because she was open-mouthed, doze, right? And her if we talk about her color, her face ashen like that. Okay, her face has changed its color. It has become colorless, like that of a corpus. Now the simile has been used of a corpus, like a dead body, right? Like a dead body having no color at all. Similarly, my mother has gone into old age. Now she has no beauty, she has no powers, she is like a dead body. She's having no color at all, no strength, no power, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. And I realized this reality. I knew this fact that she is now old. Okay, I realized with pain. That means when you realize something, it gives you pain. So realization is always painful. Remember this point. When you realize something, when you get the exact knowledge of something, it gives you pain. This is the rule and order of the world. And when she realized, it gave her immense pain that she was as old as she looked. She realized, and this realization gave her pain that really, in the factual sense, her mother is old now. But soon put that thought away. Now both of them were in the car, right? In order to drive out that feeling, that kind of emotion in me which gave me pain, in order to take that emotion out from me, what she did, but soon put that thought away. Okay, I was trying to drive away the thought which was giving me pain. What she did, and looked out at young trees sprinting. I looked out from the window and I saw some young trees, right? They were young. See, you can say the personification used here. Personification, right? Young trees sprinting, as if they were running fast. The trees, the merry children spilling out of their homes. I saw some children coming out of their homes. They were very enthusiastic. They were very energetic. They were having the fun outside their homes, right? They were coming out of their homes. But after the airport security check, the moment they reached to the airport security check, standing a few yards. Now is the turning point. But after the airport security check, when they reached the airport, there was the checking going on, standing a few yards away. I stood some yards away from my mother. I looked again at her. I gazed at my mother once again. I glanced at my mother. She was wan. Wan means colorless. Pale, again colorless, as a late winter's moon. Like in winter, late winter, there is no color in moon. Okay, it's pale, it's wan, having no attractions, right? Same is my mother now, and felt that old familiar ache. Now I am realizing, I'm feeling the old pain which used to be with me in my childhood. My childhood fair. So this was her childhood fair, thinking about mother. Why? Because we have the very strong bond with our mothers. We have an attachment with mothers. Okay, if mother leaves the world, nobody could get the seed of the mother. Okay, mother's love is beyond thinking. We cannot even imagine how they love, what kind of love they have towards their kids. So my childhood fear was that I always wanted to not to part with my mother, right? But see, my childhood fear is again coming to me when I am young. My childhood fear, but all I said was, see you soon. I couldn't do anything. I was helpless before that. Aging and old age is a normal process. It is natural. Nobody could stop him or herself from being old. So we can't do anything to it. We become older and older day by day, minute by minute, right? But all I said was, see you soon. Now, are you imagining the kind of helplessness the poet is feeling? Yes. See you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. I could do literally nothing, but what I did was only smile, smile, and smile. And I said, see you soon, Amma. Now see, if you could have realized, if you could have seen, if we begin the poem from the start, driving from my parents' home. See here, comma has been used, comma again here used, right? Here also, doze, mouthed. Okay, and see here, away, away. See here, sprinting, homes, check, away, her and won, right? See, fair, was, soon, amma, right? And the ellipse is at the end. Don't you think there must be a full stop in the poem? Okay, we use full stops in order to relax, to make a pause, but there is no single stop in the poem, as if the poem is said in one go. Okay, it is actually the overflow of the emotions. Okay, how a daughter is speaking to her mother, or how a daughter is looking into her mother's face, and because of that pain emerging from her, she utters the sentences without the full stop. So when you are overflowed with the emotions, this kind of poem emerges out, right? So there's no a full stop in the poem. That means that the poet is actually saying all this in one go, without making a pause, without relaxing. So it means that the poet is not at all relaxed, right? She is having some kind of pain. Okay, she has fear of losing her mother. Now this technique, when you do not have any full stop, the sentences going on and on, right? And then there are the sentences are divided by the commas. This technique is known as enjambment. So it is actually using comma as if you are saying a one sentence in one go. Okay, so this technique is known as, this is actually a literary device, enjambment. And as I discussed with you, the major theme of the poem is aging, the fear of loss and separation. Okay, so it is actually showing us the love of a daughter towards her mother, right? The agony and grief of separation, of loss, okay, is unbearable, right? We cannot tolerate it, but we have to face it. We cannot escape from it. Death, aging, right? Passing the time, these are some of the natural things which we do not have hold on. Okay, we cannot do anything to them. So this was the crux, the summary of the poem I discussed with you. And two things, as I mentioned in the beginning, the childhood and the old age. The mother of the poet was old, but when looking outside of the window, the poet saw the children. They were very happy, okay, merrily going here and there. See, in old age, we are at one place, but in childhood, we play, we have a lot of fun, right? We do anything what we like. But old age is altogether different from our childhood. Now, these are the two contrary images which have been discussed by the poet in the poem. Now, let's talk about the poetic devices used in the poem. First one is simile. It is a comparison between two by using like or as. The first example in the poem is as a late winter's moon. As has been used, late winter's moon. So poet is actually describing the mother by comparing her with the late winter's moon. The second example in the poem is her face is shown like that of a corpus. She is comparing her mother with a dead body. Second one is metaphor. It is a comparison without using like or as. The merry children spilling out, spilling, as if they are gliding, they're coming out in flow, right? So they have been described as something which comes out very softly, very quickly, right? Now the third literary device used in the poem is personification. Personification is giving a human characteristic to an animal, to a plant, or an object, right? For example, trees sprinting. Trees cannot walk, trees cannot run, but they have been presented as if they were walking, they were running. This is personification. We are giving a human quality to trees. They cannot run, but we are saying so that they are sprinting, trees are sprinting. So this is personification used. And the last anaphora is another literary device used in the poem. It is actually the repetition of word or phrase to create a poetic effect. Okay, we use some words in the poem so that we can create an effect, okay, so that we can make an atmosphere like that. Like the poem uses this word, smile and smile and smile. Okay, this is an anaphora, and this is also an exaggeration. For exaggeration, we have a very nice term in literary devices, that is hyperbole. Hyperbole is exaggeration, when you exaggerate things. So we can smile once, but using 3 times the word smile is definitely exaggeration, the hyperbole. Then coming up upon to the next one, the last literary device in the poem, that is alliteration. It is the repetition of consonant sounds in a line. For example, my mother, see, am here, right? T here also, T here, right? These are the examples of alliteration, when a consonant sound has been used many times in the line repetitively. That is known as alliteration. I hope this session becomes fruitful for you all. I also hope that you will understand all the concepts in the poem. If you have any confusions, you have any queries, you can write in the comment box. Your comments and queries will be appreciated. Thank you so much.